Hey there, and welcome to my corner of the world over to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a really special show today, and I'll get to that in a moment. But guess what? It's September 29th. We're going to say goodbye to September 2025 as I speak. So I'm really excited about getting into the real fall, which is October around here in the southeastern United States. Thanks for joining me. I have a wonderful guest today from the band Rasmus. And he's just amazing. We have a really great long conversation about how they all came together and what they needed to do to compete in this crazy world of music. They have a great new album out. I suggest everybody go out there and get it. It's called Weirdo, the new LP from Rasmus. And we talk about the recording process. They're from Finland and they got this great edgy sound. Very hard to explain it. You got to just go out there and get it. Weirdo got a number of great tracks, and we really get into it and do a deep dive. So I hope you sit back and enjoy it, whatever you're doing at the moment. And I will talk with you all on the other side of this, and hope you enjoy. Good morning. I hope you are doing well this morning, and not sure exactly where you're coming from. How you doing?
Hey, doing great. How are you?
Excellent. Great to see you. I'm doing wonderful. We have finally some low humidity here in the southeastern United States. I'm in the Atlanta metro area.
Oh,
Yes, yes. And where am I speaking to you from?
I am in Finland in a
Good.
place called Karja.
Ooh, nice. In relation
Never
to
heard of
Hels
that place.
in relation to Helsinki, whereas
It's like an hour drive.
okay.
Yeah, I just recently moved back to Finland, and I'm really happy here. It's like a countryside, kind of very quiet.
Oh,
Gives you
sounds
good balance.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really beautiful. We have our issues here in the States, as you know. Did you live here in the States for a while?
Yes, I did. 11 years.
Cool. We're in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, 6 years, and then I moved to Hawaii. I lived in on Oahu for 3 years, and then Miami last 2 years. So
All the
yeah, all
sunny
the sun is
spots.
but
Yeah,
right.
exactly. You wanted to change from Finland, which is it usually overcast, or is it you do get sun up there too as well?
The sunrise, fine. I mean, we have that nightless night. Like the sun barely goes down because we're high up here in the north. But then the winter is long. It's like 9 months, or something.
Gosh.
It's like darkness. But honestly, I've missed it. I missed the darkness. And I missed the seasons. We have like super strong seasons. Like you can see it out. The nature changes almost daily. And I was born here and I lived, 30 years before I moved out of here. So I know what to expect. And I've, I've missed that kind of rhythm and that like routine that the nature and the seasons bring.
Yeah, where I grew up, it's not too much different from that. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just, we did get the distinct seasons. The winters felt like they would last forever. But, hey, the birthplace of rock and roll, definitely.
Mm.
The Rock Hall is really amazing. That was one of the biggest achievements for Cleveland over the last several decades. It's really awesome.
I
It really,
haven't
really
been
is.
there, but hopefully I get to travel more in the US now. We have just signed a record deal with American label Better
Cool.
Noise Music, and we're very excited about that. We have not been to the US a lot, and it's like touring. I've lived there, but like I haven't like been able to make proper tours with my band, so I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Looking.
I wouldn't even know it was from Finland. I did a deep dive on your latest release, which we'll talk about here a little bit. But just getting into that, boy, it kind of feels nostalgic in a way because people around my age just going up through the 90s, and just it really reminds me a lot of that. Just such an influence of that, and people who like that kind of music. It really does connect. And just like getting into this, it reminds me so much of those bands that I loved. So it's very similar to a lot of that stuff. So folks, I really hope you can go out there and get this release and really get into this band. It's really incredible. How did you come up with the name of the band?
Oh, that well, it's like a boy's name uh in Finland, but honestly, we didn't think about it. We just wanted to find something that sounded like energetic and raw. And I remember we were being fans of Primus,
Mm,
American band. Primus,
yeah, yeah.
Rasmus, ending with the S. I had that thing, like I've always liked names like that end with S. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
because I used to do graffiti. That's maybe the reason, because S is like good way of ending the word.
Yeah, it has that ring to it. It does. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it inspires you. So this new album, Creatures of Chaos, it's just where does all this come from? The inspiration for it and how you got into writing this album.
Uh, well, Creatures of Chaos is one of the songs, but the album is called Weirdo. And this theme is kind of always been present in my life, like ever since we started in the 90s when I was 15 years old. I was always unfortunately called the weirdo and like bullied and stuff like that because I had my special style. I put makeup and I had crazy hairstyles, crazy, vintage clothes and like wicked style. And I think I was kind of suffering of that like when I was younger. Obviously, later on, I was able to find people who were like me, and and I could find some backup to for being the way I wanted to be, and and then obviously when the band took off and we suddenly became quite famous, at least here in Finland, it kind of changed. But ever since I've just been that weird guy, and now I'm really proud of it. I made a great career for being a weirdo, and like in the song "Weirdo," which is one of the songs on the album too, I'm singing like it's like ironic, but I'm just a weirdo. I'll never be a hero, which is not really the truth because I'm a hero to a lot of our fans. Like we have 4.2 million listeners monthly on Spotify.
That's sweet.
These people go there
Oh,
because they want to listen to our music. They get some hope, they get good vibes. That's very heroic if I think about it. And we recently played a concert in Ukraine, 2 months ago. It was a charity event. We could raise money for a children's hospital, almost €1 million. And we played in front of 60,000 people, gave them good vibes and hope and like strength. And that was really heroic. I was so proud of myself and
oh
us.
yeah, yeah. And to go into Ukraine, and I was reading about that back in July, and you had, you guys had a security plan just in case, but wow. I do agree with that. With Weirdo, and that is the title of your album. You have a title track, and it starts off with Creatures of Chaos as your opening track. But to go there to Ukraine and this is about standing up to bullies and things like that. I think it has that thematic element to it. But wow, what a story! I mean,
Yeah.
if you all had to evacuate at a moment's notice to play in a war zone, how did that feel? My gosh.
Yeah, we spent like 4 days, 4 to 5 days there. We had to fly to Poland to take a train overnight, 12-hour train, to get to Kiev, the capital city. And then we had one day like we did some promotion, just like, and visited the children's hospital, um, which was tragic because it was bombed last summer. And we got to meet some of the victims, and like it was really
Mm,
heartbreaking. But then that first day in the evening, the first uh, airstrike came. Like the missiles were up in the air, and like the sirens went off, and we had to evacuate to a bomb shelter for that night. And gotta say, it was really really scary because
Yeah.
like we could follow from our phones, these apps, like you could see the map of the country region by region turning to red, and like like 300 drones in the sky, 13 missiles that night only.
Amazing. Amazing.
Insane. Like for us it was safe. We were, at least they said, it's one of the safest shelters in the city center. But local people who have to couple of times a week evacuate from home, take their kids, and go to a metro station, sleep down there on the floor or something. Like
What a
it's
life.
so, what a life, exactly.
Gosh. And the thing is, you're getting in there and I can't imagine a lot of performers. I mean, they do sneak in there. But they don't get much music, so it's a really great thing that you've done. And some of the other acts too who have gone in there as well. It's like they need this. They need
Yeah,
to have
of
some
course.
kind of a
Life has to still happen. They need
yeah,
to go to work despite the situation. They need to go to school. They need to fall in love and make babies, and like it's already been like 3 years. Like they can't stop. The country can't stop. They need to have the restaurants open, though it's dangerous. But it's like, and I think, I don't know, like, it's not very easy to arrange a festival like that, because,
sure.
like they got a special permission from the government to
Mm,
do this.
yeah,
But they had to be able to evacuate the whole crowd, that massive amount of people, in like 9 minutes or something,
right.
underneath a shopping mall. and and they actually did that the first day when we were not on stage, like that Friday. They had to evacuate, and when we were sleeping in that shelter that night, they evacuated the whole audience, and then they were down there for an hour and a half, and then they came back, and the festival kept going.
Gosh,
Isn't that
man.
like crazy?
What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I
Yeah.
don't, what is the end game? I don't know. That gets into
uh,
politics, which is
I
above
don't I don't
all of
know.
our pay grades here. But
Looking quite bad at the moment, but I really hope that it's gonna end soon.
yeah, yeah. I know you have to compromise on both sides of any issue. It's just like what can you win on here? It's really tough, rough
Yeah.
situation, but it's great that performers like you can come in and get people to forget about their problems for however long you perform up there. How long is a show for you like that to do
It
in a
was one
place?
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Wow. Well, good for you. That is really amazing. So getting back to this wonderful new album that's out there, working with Desmond Child, who I believe has worked with Bon Jovi and people like
Yeah.
that. Great
Yeah.
collaboration there.
Yes, he's a superstar, like he's a living legend. I'm really honored to know him, and that he wants to work with me and us is a little miracle, gotta say, because I don't consider us being that big of a band, like Kiss, Aerosmith,
Sure.
like Bon Jovi, Alice Cooper, all the guys he's dealing with. Like he's just worked with Barbara Streisand recently. Like
What a
that's like
variety.
the that's kind of like the class.
Wow.
So, and then it's us. I'm like, wow. But honestly, he likes me and he likes our band. He contacted me in 2007 already for the first time. He had heard our song "In the Shadows" on a radio, and he's like, you know, he he just fell in love with that kind of Nordic sound, and something. And then he was like, I would really like to meet you and work with you, and that's how we became friends, and we've done a lot of music together ever since. A couple of albums and songs here and there. So he's also like not just a writer buddy for me, but he's also kind of my mentor, and he's a uh, he's a like godfather of my daughter, and
Oh, cool.
he's a close person in my life, also kind of teaching me and
Sure.
guiding me
How do
sometimes.
you put a song together with Desmond? I mean, how does that come together? Do you write half lyrics or it goes over it and revises? You go back and forth, and do you
No,
do it live?
we've done like five of these trips. It's become like a little tradition to go to Greece on an island called Folegandros. It's a very small island, beautiful, quiet place. 4 hour boat trip from Athens, kind of hard to find,
Sweet.
but a little hidden gem. We go there writing songs almost every summer, and I'm obviously prepared with my ideas, and like I write songs all the time, like, but I don't finish them all the time. Like I have a bunch of ideas, and it's fantastic to go there and sort of like just like you know explain him like this is where I want to go, and this is kind of my vision, and you know having to back me up there with his amazing skills is just wonderful. Yeah, and it's like work, so to speak, but I've always like considered more like a holiday. It's just wonderful. I love writing songs. It's one of my biggest passion in this life.
And especially being on Greece, being on that island, it's just got to be amazing.
Yeah.
Also work with Marty Fredrickson, work with
Yes.
Ozzy and Aerosmith. You got some real stars there. It's what a connection.
Yeah, yeah. Marty came along from Desmond, and Marty was also involved with these songs. And like we recorded at his studio in Nashville, beautiful studio, Sienna Studio. Like, it felt so good after the last album we did during the COVID times, and that was like a mess. We had to work from home and send files and like try to put this puzzle together. It was really, really bad. But now we could be in this huge studio all together, like almost unlimited time, and like just like a good old big session, and we had so much fun, and it was very inspiring. To Nashville is obviously a big capital for music,
Yeah.
and we stayed at Desmond's mansion. He has a like a guest house for the band. The whole band was living there. We are always having breakfast together with Desmond in the morning, talking about the day, like rewriting some lyrics, and you know at the
Oh,
breakfast table, and just wonderful.
what a dream. Yeah, seriously. How long did it take to record in Nashville?
I think altogether like a month, so pretty quick,
Not bad.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we obviously worked some, afterwards, and I flew back and did some, but like not like months and months. So yeah,
You could punch that out pretty fast, and the
yeah, yeah,
mixing.
yeah. It's better.
These
Like
days you could mix.
yeah, and then you can always like try to make it better, but I think it's about like a month is a pretty good time that you can still be very excited and full of energy. And then after that, it starts to go like, then you just like, maybe you even destroy it sometimes, like adding too many things, and, like killing the soul of it. I think even sometimes you want to go back to the first original demo to hear the rawness of something like, wow, we
Yeah.
came from this to this boring, polished something, and so you want to kind of keep that the first vibe that is born there. Sometimes you should not forget.
Yeah, that's really true. Like sometimes you just capture that lightning in a bottle on the first stage. And
Yeah,
when you keep experimenting and keep trying to layer, and it's like, well, it was better just like at the
yeah,
basics. It's art
yeah,
as a whole, really.
yeah, yeah.
Totally. Great many new tracks on here. You have, is this an ode to Banksy? It so
Yeah.
reminds me of the days of like we have this radio station here called 99X, and it reminds me of that, which they resurrected very recently. It was very big in the 90s, and just it really has that vibe. So is this your tribute to Banksy and that kind of
Yeah,
vibe?
I'm a fan. We all are fans in the band. It's been fun to try to find his work, on the walls in Europe, especially in England. There's still some places that people have not stolen the piece of wall. Like it's even
Can
actually happened.
imagine.
People have just like they took the whole wall,
Phew.
like
You
bring
gotta
it
bring
home.
your wet saw with you or something.
Oh
You
my.
gotta take a wall with you.
Yeah, it's like okay, but they're worth like millions. I don't know. So
Excellent guitar riff in there. So yeah, credit where
thank
credit
you.
is due on all that. That's just
Yeah,
really
it's a fun
amazing.
song. It's like 2 minutes, like blasting a fast song and like a party song.
Oh
It's
yeah.
nice that not every song is so serious on the album because, like, personally, I love to write these like serious and like cutting my wrists type of songs. Like I'm just like that. Maybe that's the Finnish dude in me, like this kind of melancholic guy, but also I'm this goofy, funny, silly guy most of the time. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's nice that we have songs like Banksy or Love Is a Bitch, which is also kind of like a fun song. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a
shows
little
like the both sides of you know.
got some great whistling on Love is a Bitch. It's just yeah, I think a lot of us could relate. You got some interesting lyrics in there. Put a knife in me, stab me in the back like a killer bee. Just could relate. We could all relate. People who grew up where I did too. It's just I think there's a lot in common there as well. So, but that the whole thematic element of Weirdo and how, yeah, you're different, and I like how you go through this lines of oh, I could have been a preacher, I could have been a dancer, I could have been all these things. You tell me what you want me to be.
Yeah.
That's something that
I'm
could
just
really.
a I'm just this musician guy. Sorry. I'm just a weirdo. But, a hero of my own, like life and for my own people, for my fans and, for my family, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up in where you did, what inspired you and when did you discover music and how did you progress from there?
Oh, I had this like a classical background. Like my parents, they put me to play piano when I was 5 years old. And I wasn't really a fan of that at the moment, but,
Almost
you
everybody
know,
says that. It's like
yeah,
when
well, I
they're
was like
getting the
looking out the
lessons.
window and other kids going skateboarding or something, playing soccer, and I was like, oh, I have to practice these stupid, Suzuki piano lessons.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then later, I changed my instrument to a classical guitar, which I played for 12 years or something, and then I was actually able to make some good progress because I I liked that instrument more, and I could also play music that I was listening to, some Metallica or like rock, and I could do something like that. With piano, it's harder, So I'm glad my parents did that because I was in touch with music and I was listening and learning from the classical side, and I even you know had to study like musical theory for like 4 years, and
Huh.
like I studied 1 year like these classical composers when I was very young, but like it wasn't the coolest thing back then, but it's like it made a good base like for me to start making my own music and writing songs and knowing, hearing things in music and sort of I still think, I steal some of that, some of the things from, you know, I was just writing a song and I was like, I have to check if this is too close to Mozart. And then I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
listening from Spotify. Oh, it's pretty close. Well, okay.
We could all
I think it's
derive.
been a
Yeah.
long time, so when he wrote that song, it's like I can probably steal that 3 seconds from his, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
banger.
And a lot of artists, do that. A lot of them just can steal an idea, or sometimes you just want to credit them totally. It's really amazing. There was a guy who grew up in my neck of the woods in Cleveland, Ohio. He's about 18 years. He was 18 years older than me. He's no longer with us, but his name is Eric Carmen, and his big hit is "All by Myself." Zillions of
Ooh,
people covered that song, like Celine Dion. But
yeah.
that was based on a Rachmaninoff piece. And at that time, I think, well, I don't think it was in public domain, but it was like, I don't know if there was some kind of a settlement or a lawsuit brought up, but it's really based on that. You wouldn't
Okay.
know it if somebody didn't point it out to you, but it really, if you compare them side to side. So
Wow.
everybody derives off of one another. And then, somebody says, oh, this is so similar. I'm gonna haul you into court. You made all this money. You need to share in the profits here.
Mm.
So do you feel like you go through that like, oh, have I heard this before? Am I ripping the Beatles off here? What's going on?
I I have a pretty like good ear of remembering a lot of stuff that I've heard, and if I'm writing something, it very often does not sound like anything that's done before. It's so much like blended of everything I've heard, so it becomes my own. Because I also like my music taste is very wide. Like I have, like I listen to rock and metal, obviously, but I also like, I like classical music. I was just like yesterday listening to Sibelius, who's the Finnish composer, the most legendary from our country. And so like I can enjoy a lot of different type of music. I like, weekend, modern like
Yeah.
pop. It's sometimes really, really nice to listen or, So I think what I do with my music then is just like I just get myself influenced as much as possible of everything, and then the ideas just come. But we have never had this like thing that we've released something and we had to, you know, deal with the lawsuit or something later. Thank
Yeah.
God. But it could happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's like
can.
imagine like how many times all these melodies have been written and
Right.
and lyrics too. Like if you think you come up with something clever and then you Google it, oh, there's like 100 songs who they say the same thing. Really, like it's amazing because we're so many people and there's been so many songs and books and poems and whatnot. It's really hard to try to come up with something new,
Right.
but
And
it's
and
a
the
nice
song
challenge.
titles. Yeah, it is. It is. And the song titles too. I mean, yeah, you can have somebody else who wrote something bad things. Go Google it. It's like many
Yeah, yeah,
many
yeah.
other songs with that
Song
title.
titles and forget about it. Like that's way too hard. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, like
yeah,
just the way you are. Bruno Mars didn't write the original. I mean, it's not a cover. It's his own.
yeah.
It's just the way you are. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, one more night, stuff like that. It's
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you do. Yeah. So, what did you? I mean, when did you discover American music growing up? Did the Finnish stations put that in their top
Oh
40?
yeah. Like early stage, I was listening to Metallica. I was listening to Skid Row, Guns N'
Uh,
Roses, Nirvana later on. But
you got the
but
90s in
even
you.
even when I was younger, like when I was about like 10 years old, I think Alice Cooper's Poison came,
Yeah.
and I didn't know it was Desmond Child's
Wow.
handwriting, but I just fell in love with that song and that character of that, Alice. I was like, I had his poster on my wall, and he's the original weirdo.
He is. He is.
I'm just
Yeah.
like that anti-hero dude, like the bad guy, the villain. I just, I felt like, that's me when
That's
I
right.
grow up, and I think I owe him a lot. I've actually met him a couple of times. I've been playing a tour with him once,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, and actually I sang a song together with him too. It was at Desmond Child's this kind of he did this like special concert where we all sang his songs,
Wow.
and Alice was there too.
Yeah, he's coming here too. It's amphitheater not too far from me. So he's still out there playing. Gosh, I'm losing track how old he is now. It's I've known about him for ages. School's Out was the big thing when I was growing up.
Yeah,
That was always big in the springtime. Um, yeah, wow. And he just blends in. I mean, he doesn't really blend in. I mean, it's him, but like does normal things like isn't he into golf and things like that?
yeah. I mean,
Alice
that
Cooper playing
that I don't
golf.
want to really know about that, And and he told me like, you know, I'm a shopaholic. I have 600 pairs of jeans. I was like, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that from that villain dude. Just keep the
I know.
illusion.
Isn't that
you
weird?
know?
Yeah, there's the act, and then there's the guy in regular life, but he sticks out
Yeah.
like a sore thumb just because of his looks. It's like you
Yeah.
can't get
I just
around
want to
it.
think like he's always like that, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Sure, sure. They're human just like the rest of us, but we always want to like say, "Oh, this is a legend. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be." But yeah, there's like stuff you don't want to know either. It's really amazing. So yeah, I mean, I feel a lot of that. Were you into Linkin Park and bands like that? I kind of feel that vibe there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Great band, yeah.
very much. And it's I'm very happy that they're back and with a new
Yeah, they sound
singer. And
good.
yeah, it's great. I hope to tour with them one day. I only I met Mike Shinoda twice. I've never had a chance to play like a tour. I would think our band would be actually a quite good match with Linkin Park.
I think it'd be great if you opened them for yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That would be
But I
awesome.
think there must be like 150 bands queuing for that spot,
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah,
Maybe one
competition.
day.
Yeah, that's how it is. So your band formed in '96. You still have the same lineup as you did back then?
Just the two of us are the original members, me and the
Yeah,
bass player.
that
But
happens.
the drummer, he used to be the new guy. He's been with us now for 22 years.
Oh, it adds
So
up.
it's like
Yeah.
so such a long career, so it's funny. And now we have a new guitarist, and she joined us 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's nice to get the variety too. Another, layer there. And, if you need it, you got a female voice too.
Yeah,
That totally adds
yeah,
to it.
it's very good. She's super talented, and she fit right in. She's kind of like one of the guys. She has that energy, and she's funny, and she has experience of touring, and like she's played in different bands before. So we were just lucky that she said yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you do a lot of audition process for that?
Well, we made it look like we had many for her, but she was the only one. Can you imagine?
Secret there.
Yeah, we put some pressure on her. Uh, but I mean, like, so like I knew her, and I actually Googled her picture, and I sent it to the guys of the band, like, hey, is she the new the guitarist of the Rasmus? And they were like, yeah, because we all know
Great.
her from other acts, and she's from the same neighborhood, kind of. She went to the same school. She's younger than we are, but she kind of grew up in the same suburb, and you know that sort of shapes you as a person too. To sort of you come from you have the same roots and
Yeah.
like that. So
That's how it works. How it was good for the Beatles. It was just, you're all kind of have that in common,
yeah,
having that Finnish thing there. But yeah, education must have been great there. So it sounds like you got a great music education there as well. So
yeah. Finland has always been good at that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And
But listen, I'm sorry, but I have to jump to the next.
that's okay. That's totally fine. Yeah, I would say just call it out when you've had enough. Anyhow, well,
No,
thank you so
I
much.
would like to talk to you like 3 hours more, but it's crazy days. I have like the last 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, I've done like 15 to 17 interviews
Oh,
every day.
talked out.
Ah, that's
I know it's a
freaking,
lot. It
it's a lot.
is. But
But it was really
kudos to
nice
you.
talking to you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I hope we can meet, when we get ourselves over there and
Yeah, yeah. You
talk
need to
some
open up for
more.
Alice Cooper. See you around the corner here at the amphitheater.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Take care. Have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Wasn't it awesome? I love talking with people overseas, especially a place like Finland. As I've said, this might be the second person I've had on this show who is from Finland, and it's just really cool to just get a different perspective. And I was really, really surprised how he was living in the States, in the sunniest part of the States, Hawaii, California, and Miami. And then it was just too much sun. He had to get back to Finland, which sounds really idyllic at this moment. But wow, what a great talk. Really wish for their success. I would love to see them have more presence here in the US, but they've been doing great overseas. If you see their tour schedule, it's amazing how much, not just going through Finland, but nearby countries in that area in the world. So definitely a great following. I hope the followers of Erasmus were able to sit through this and enjoy it. And I hope they enjoyed it. Really do. Anyway, have a good one. And, Rasmus followers, keep following me. I got a lot of great interviews on this website. So check it out wherever you get these podcasts. Stay with talesfromthecorners.com as I speak. And always search for TFTC with Bob Niebel wherever you get those podcasts. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good one.